So, what kind of person is your business? I know this seems like a very strange question, but everything that we put a lot of attention on becomes a thought form. It becomes like person. And you probably don't realize it, but you have feelings about it like you would any other person because you have a relationship to this being, to this entity that is your business. So I'm talking to entrepreneurs who are creating businesses, but for those of you who are working in a job, your business, your company that you work for, also has a relationship with you. You have a relationship with it, as though we're a person you feel a certain way about it. So every time that you think about your business, the one you own, the one you've created, or the one that you work for, notice how you feel about it. There's a sense about it. Okay, think about your favorite person on the planet, the one that you just absolutely adore. And notice what just happened. As I did, I smile, my body seems lighter. And then think about the person that has caused you the most trouble. You may have just seen it on my face, and I felt every muscle in my body dragged down. These are how we feel about relationships. This is how our physiology, our nervous system responds to that being, right? Now, try on your business, the person that you work for, the company that you work for. Try on how you feel about the overall business. Now, think in your mind's eye, you may have actually just seen an image of what looks like a person to you. This is called pareidolia. Even in our own brains, we put things into terms of human appearance. So look at it. What does it look like, even? Is it a big giant monster? Is it a small, diminutive, old lady? Is it sturdy and strong? What does it actually look like? This thing you call your business, the way that you actually earn a living, in many cases, your finances. But if you're an entrepreneur, your business is really a part of who you are, a part of your body. And notice if that is reflected a bit. Notice if you put your attention on it, is there a taste involved in what this business feels like? Is there a smell? For some of you, there may be like an iron, metallic taste in your mouth. It may taste like difficulty. I know that sounds weird, but some of us really respond and think about things in the way things taste or smell. So notice if that's true for you. Notice the picture that's forming. Notice what happened in your gut, in your heart, in your throat. Notice what happened in your glutes and legs. Did you just tense and tighten? Or did you relax and be like, hey, there's my friend. Yeah, dude, we're making things happen. I'm imagining that for a lot of you, that is not the case. But what if it were? What if it were the case that when you thought about work, when you thought about business, when you thought about making money, when you thought about the success that entity known as the business you work with or for can create for you, think about how that could feel and how it does feel now. Are there two opposites about how you want it to feel or how it does feel now? So this is quite interesting. I know it was for me because I did this process this week. Had never occurred to me that I viewed my business in a certain way from the inception, and it started to build a personality from my perspective. Then what I started to looking for is, what are the personality traits that I believe or feel about this business that may not actually be serving me, the people who work in the company, or the company as a whole, right? Very interesting, don't you think? I really do. So come back to it. Who is the person that this business represents? What do they look like to you? How do they feel, more importantly? What are the aspects of them? Are you afraid of them? Are you afraid of your own business, the thing you created? Are there aspects of it that feel really hard, like a personality trait? So think about maybe a father who was really, really kind and loving, but the way he spoke was harsh. Or really, really kind and loving, but maybe he drank too much, right? So there's a positive side and something that may have hurt you a little bit. Think about that in terms of your business. So I've heard things like, the people in my business, what they want are more science, and I don't have it. And that's why they don't buy from me. Or the people in my business, they don't have any money anymore. And that's why they don't buy from me. Or I can't figure out how to say what I need to say about my business. And that's why people aren't coming to me. So what is the aspect of them, of this business, that feels like those sharp points on other relationships? And then what are the parts that feel like, yeah, this is pretty good. Like I've created this really big list, or I have this great presence on YouTube, or I'm very, very creative and the products I've created are wonderful. Versus the things that have those sharp points that feel like they're uncomfortable. And every time you think about them, there's this bit of resistance. We push away at things that hurt us. And there are things in our business that we perceive as hurting us, maybe even attacking us, maybe on purpose, doing something to antagonize us, right? And you feel this push. So there's this part that we accept and a part that we push away. Think about this in terms of human relationships. Is it not the same? Is it not the truth? Parts that I love about you and parts that I don't love about you. Okay, so what do we do about this? In Cognomovement, what we do is we focus our attention on both things, but separately. And you always want to start with the part that you're feeling like you're pushing away at, the part that feels like it's sort of attacking you or actually attacking you, the part that hurts, the part that has the prongs that are stabbing you. That's the part. It has a very physical feeling. And what you may not recognize is that you have an opinion about that feeling, about the entity that is your business. You have a feeling about them that is actually projecting back into the business and back into everyone coming to your business. Every client that you are prospecting or that you're hoping will come to you, they are feeling those prongs as well as the part that brings them in. Whether they come in or not depends on which is stronger, right? We project our nervous systems, the part of our body that sends electromagnetic and hormonal signals out onto the planet. It's how we communicate only every minute of every day. That thing is actually sending a signal that says, fair warning, I got issues. Now, the person who will give you the most trouble is going to match that. They're going to run right into it and they're going to magnify it. They're going to make it seem like it's really, really true. It's not that it's really true. All it is that you have a pattern, a strong belief, and the people who match it just come right in. It's like magnets. And so then for both of you, look at it, look at it, look at it. It's so true. It's happening. Can't you see it? Okay. So in Cognomovement, when we experience the quantum relationship effect, what happens is that one side of the relationship collapses their feeling, that feeling of, ugh, that hurts. We collapse it in our physical bodies and it becomes neutral. What does neutral mean? It means that it doesn't feel like a thing anymore. It just feels like, well, okay, I guess that's who they are. But the wave is collapsed. It's like doing tug of war. When you're playing tug of war as a kid, You have equal and opposite force, and you're pushing back and forth, pushing back and forth. And then when one side agrees to let go, the other side collapses. It falls away. The relationship, the prongs and the prongs, they don't fit anymore. There is not a match. The wave going out does not find the wave coming back, and they don't connect. So the whole pattern gets collapsed. And what happens is people will get a call during the middle of their session, and the person they're doing the session about has changed their mind. Or that person just magically looks completely different, and they're acting completely different. And lifelong relationship problems have collapsed instantly because there's no longer a wave. There's nothing to attract it. There's no magnet for it. And then what does the mind do? The mind then recreates itself around the new pattern. That's it. It's really that simple. The mind will be like, oh, I never had that problem. That person's lovely. Well, I mean, they have their faults, but it's okay. I love them anyway, right? Bring this back to your business. Bring it on home. The place that you work, the business that you've created. Where does your body project a sense of fear, a sense of hatred, a sense of resentment, a profound sense of this is true and that is why I cannot succeed? Where is that happening? And could you collapse it with your Cognomovement session if you were to look at it exactly like you look at another relationship, another human in your life? I promise you, it does collapse. I've done it myself many, many times. A lot of us have. And it not only changes the way you feel about your business, it allows you to open up and see the truth. You can see what's really going on in your business. And all of a sudden you recognize where it's been your physical body that is holding things out or away. It's an opinion that you've had that may not even be accurate. It may just be fear or shame. It may be that it's something you believe about who you are that is holding things back. Like if you believe that you are not a person who has great success, you have a little success, but not great success because of family lineage or because of the way you were treated as a child, or maybe somebody just told you that, you may have installed that in your business unaware, and it just keeps getting bigger. Between you and your business, this relationship, you're creating a bigger and bigger and bigger pattern that only exists because it's running in your nervous system. So where do you start with this? You start by picturing, like we did when I opened this video, what does your business feel like as an entity, as another person? If you were sitting down with them for lunch every day and having a chat or tea, is it a nice conversation? Are you talking about your dreams and your hopes and your, the imaginal future that's so rich and beautiful for the two of you? Or are you sitting down and complaining about sales? Are you sitting down and complaining about employees? Are you sitting down and talking about how much you hate them? Right? This would be a terrible dysfunctional relationship, at least a very uncomfortable one. And for many of you, I know you're hearing me, that this has become very uncomfortable for you. Again, it could be, where you work, or it could be the company you've created or trying to create. Think about it. Actually, start your Cognomovement session, grab your ball and imagine sitting down across from your business and having a conversation. What is the thing that comes up first? You know what you're not doing right? You know what you're holding me back from? Do you know what the biggest problem is? Ooh, there it is. That's where you start. And you start with that feeling, what we did in the beginning. What does it taste like? What does it smell like? How are you actually perceiving this entity? And then what you're going to begin to do is move it through your nervous system. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere, the kinesthetic body, that feeling that you have, the throat, the inability or ability to be saying too much or saying not enough, the logical mind, right? Eyes and ears. What have I heard? What have I seen? What have I known? And then ideas and inspiration and all the place cells that hold that idea. This is what sets Cognomovement apart. And this is why we can use it for so many things, athletes, psychology, trauma, movement disorders. I mean, all those things. Business is no different. It's because it has a feeling and because we know how to move it through your nervous system so systematically that your system sees itself and just creates change. It sees the truth, recognizes that there's energy going where it shouldn't be, where it's wasted, and then it changes completely. When it changes completely around your business, you're going to see that your business gets easier. It just will. You're also going to see very, very, very clearly what has been holding you back in business, in money. I mean, business is so many things. It's your personal success, it's your personal growth, it's about finances, it's about sometimes in our case, changing the planet's consciousness, changing the planet in the way that we eat or the way that we dress or the way that we have transportation, any one of those things. It's about all of it. And so when you're doing your session, focusing on how you're feeling about it and moving through the system systematically cleans up all of those pieces that may have been just a little bit out of alignment and been just a little bit based in shame, fear, guilt, anger, pride, any of those things. And those are the things that are holding you back. So do your Cognomovement session with this in mind. And please let me know how it goes. I think this might revolutionize how you feel and think about your business, but it's also going to revolutionize who you are. With Cognomovement, we're not changing what you think. You're changing who you are physiologically. And when that happens, everything else changes around it. So this is very exciting. And I want to know what changes for you. I want to know what happens. I want to know what miracles you begin to create in the company that you're working for or that you are building. And I want to know, does it change the direction of your business and how you're thinking about it and where you want it to go and how it serves the planet? Because everything might shift around it. All right, you guys, I think you know who I am. I'm Liz Larson, co-creator of the Cognomovement system, along with Bill McKenna. And we want to help you change your business, but we want to help you change your mind, body, spirit, and consciousness in the process, all through your nervous system.